So guys, today I want to do yet another survival kit. I've been really enjoying making these, and I think you guys have been really enjoying watching these kits, and hopefully I've been able to inspire you guys to try some of these, or at least see how you can incorporate more survival items in your day-to-day outing kits. And today I'm going to be doing it on a knife. Now I'm not going to be doing a build quite yet, I will get there, of a pack or some kind of attachment for the knife to make it more survivally, but I'm actually talking about modding this knife and having a kit inside of the handle. And this one here already does have a kind of drilled out space for that, and I'll be talking about more of what this knife is, or what this knife is when we do the tabletop showing of it. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing the video on. This, to get quickly before we get into the knife, this is the Pull Force Prepper 1. I will be having more videos coming on this particular knife here in the near future, but like I was saying, because this knife has an integrated area for you to put a survival kit in the handle of the knife, like some other knives such as the SE Laser Strike and a few others, I thought I would go over this one and kind of show you what I did with mine. Now let's get into it. So before we go into the actual survival kit, I want to go over this quick paracord lanyard. You guys will notice it does look a little weird and kind of bulbous right here, and that is because this knife comes with a little key to undo the screws, these two screws here, and I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to incorporate that into the knife because while you could use many different things such as a dime or a quarter or a flathead screwdriver, you could probably even whittle a piece of stick and use that. These are very basic screws, as you can see. I wanted to make sure to actually have the tool on me, especially since it wasn't that large, and I found a pretty clever way to integrate it. So in case you're wondering what this little piece of metal is, that is the screwdriver essentially for undoing these screws. And with the black paracord, this is about 5 feet. It did come with some paracord of an orange color. That's perfectly cool too. I really like this straight black paracord because I thought it accented the knife and the sheath quite nicely. Moving on to the kit in the handle, I do want to keep in mind that this is generally what I would use in the actual survival situation to open this up, but for sake of keeping this all one entire kit, I want to actually just use a separate screwdriver to open this up. Yeah, that's why I have the Leatherman. But anyways, it opens up quite easy. I don't keep these screws particularly torqued down. I think if you carried this little thing, you could definitely do that. You could definitely keep it more torqued down, just in the sake of survival. I keep this tight enough so that these two screws would not just wiggle off, but I don't keep this particularly tight. And so those are the screws. Once again, I really like these screws. Unlike some other things like the SE Laser Strike, what I really like about these particular screws is you guys can see just how large these are. These are not going to be lost extremely easy. I mean, do keep in mind, these are screws, so they're not going to be the most gigantic thing in the world. You definitely could lose them, but for screws being screws, these are actually pretty big screws. There, this thing kind of just popped open when I tried to grip it up, but I will show you guys now what is in here. So first, starting off with this first piece, I have 2 safety pins in here. Sorry, that one just fell over the snow, but I have 2 safety pins, and that's one of them put in here. I really like safety pins. They're a very awesome, easy to use thing. They have a plethora of uses, and they're overall really good. Other than that, this little piece here that is right next to the handle, this does move freely, but this piece here is kind of an all-in-one fishing kit. I'm not necessarily going to get it out right now because it's very cold out, but what is inside here is I have some rubber bands. This is a piece of cotton patch. You could use that potentially like a band-aid, and then on the inside I have about, I think that's 20 feet of monofilament fishing line. It's not an extremely hard poundage, but then again, I'm not going to be fishing for gigantic fish likely with this survival kit. And then that monofilament line is wrapped around a about inch of paracord, and the reason why I have that paracord or inch of paracord is if you guys are familiar with Intense Angler, it actually shows you how you can make baits using paracord, the shell of paracord. So this is burnt orange paracord to hopefully attract attention while fishing. You can make really easy baits with that, and I wanted to keep that. That is, I don't know if you guys can see how well that little orange piece in there, but that's what that is. And then, of course, on the inside is 2 medium-sized hooks for fishing. So now, actually looking inside the kit, so we have, of course, 2 lead sinkers, split shot lead sinkers here, once again, to go along with the whole fishing. Then these 2 green pieces, you'll see one here, and then I'm not sure how well you can see this one back here, but that's about 20 feet of green Army trip line. And I really like trip line. You can use it, of course, for trip lines, or you can use it for snares. You can use it as an additional cordage. Overall, I just thought it was an extremely versatile little piece of gear. Doesn't take up much space and allows me just another way of procuring meat. Aside from that, I also have a ferro rod here. This is an Exotac Nano Striker XL, just ferro rods sitting in here. I also have the Striker from the Nano Striker XL, and the reason why I have the Striker is one of the things, and I'm going to cover more of this in the in-depth video for this knife, and maybe when I do more videos on this knife, but this knife in particular does not have a very sharp spine. It's actually more rounded, and I don't really think I could effectively strike ferro rods off of this spine. So in order to make sure that I can still produce a large amount of ferro rod sparks, I just decided to throw in this Striker, and this was the smallest effective Striker that I have. It sits in there pretty well. So that is what that kind of looks like. I apologize, I can't really show this too much. Trying to not dump this entire kit out, but hopefully there's a little bit more of an in-depth look at what it looks like. Once again, it's not an insanely complex kit, just because you really can't get that complex with a kit this small. You can see, this doesn't take up a lot of space. In addition to this, I do want to note, I did make one last minute change with all the fishing gear. Before that, I also incorporated a little bit of triple-aught steel wool. That would be something else I would recommend. Once again, when building a kit like this, it goes back to, really knowing your environment and what you really anticipate. If you don't really think fishing is an applicable thing for where you live, you may want to incorporate more fire-starting elements or more trapping/hunting elements. I'm also going to show you guys a little postcard I got with the knife to show you some other ideas of what Polforce has done with adding survival kits. You can see this pretty well. I'm going to go over a little bit of all of this. Of course, there's a ferro rod, fishing line, safety pin, stuff that you saw with my kit. They also incorporated some kind of like gummy lures, I think they are, for fishing. They incorporated water purification tablets, a quick tinder, compass, a razor blade, split shot sinkers, and 3 different sizes of fishing hooks. I like most of this kit. The quick tinder would be a great addition, same with water purification. But one thing I probably would not incorporate from this kit is just the razor blade, and in my opinion, I think there's a little bit of wasted space just for the fact that if you're going as far as to have the actual blade itself, I really don't think you actually need yet another cutting implement. I could see if you were going for something like an Altoids tin where a knife is not a given, but in particular with a survival knife or a knife survival kit, the knife is a given. You're going to have this edge on you regardless, if so long as you have this kit. So pretty clever ideas. This is a lot like the lanyard that I received with this, or that's what it looked like. Once again, I just removed mine because I like this black and how it looked a little bit more as well. I wanted the Cobra weave instead of this type of weave. This is a quick deploy weave, and there's nothing wrong with this one per se. I just couldn't incorporate this piece of metal with this type of weave without it being kind of obnoxious. Hopefully you've enjoyed that quick look at this survival kit in a knife. I really liked how this came out, and I was actually rather pleasantly surprised at how much stuff that I could actually fit in here. And you know, making it so tight and compact with this piece of cotton has actually made it it doesn't rattle at all. So it's actually really awesome. You know, you don't hear any rattle with it. And I really like that, because I really dislike it when survival kits really rattle around, especially when they're like in the stock of a shotgun, or if they're in the handle of your knife. They just are obnoxious, I think, when they rattle around. So anyways, guys, hopefully that's inspired you. If you guys have a knife that has a survival kit opening, or if you guys want to mod a lot of knives, and I can show this in further detail, but most knives nowadays that are full tang are skeletonized in the middle for weight savings, like this. So really the only thing you would have to do if you wanted to mod your knife to have a survival kit is just cut out little areas in the handle, which actually isn't that hard. Generally, the handles like this one are just G10, so they're not a particularly hard material. But anyways, like I said, hopefully that inspired you to try something. And even if you don't mill out the handle, you could still easily fit something like a ferro rod in between the two pieces of handle and that little cutout. So just interesting things to think about. And like I said, hopefully that inspired you guys to think creatively with your survival kits and stuff. And don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.